Yo, 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 yo. What's up? Yeah, I'm eating, so we're gonna have to stall a little bit. What's up, dude, Dev? Yeah, I overcooked my oatmeal. That kind of sucks. Waiting for your drawing? Nah. Yeah, I won't be drawing requests for a while. I wanna finish my animation so I can boost my subscribers. Is this the one thing that got me tripping? Hello, random bag.
Aiden told me to take off my clothes.
What?
And what did you do?
I laughed.
Cách để vẽ được một bức tranh như này rất đơn giản. Đầu tiên chúng ta phải phân tích nhân vật chính. Ở đây chính là ngôi nhà. Thì nhìn vào ngôi nhà chúng ta sẽ thấy ngay nó có hai điểm tụ. Và từ hai điểm tụ này chúng ta sẽ xác định được cái hình dáng cơ bản.
I'm eating, so I just wanna finish this
cái đặc điểm của ngôi nhà kỹ hơn. Ví dụ như là mái nhà, cửa sổ, những cái bức tường sẽ như thế nào.
Hello Anna,
phân tích từng
how was my day?
Mái nhà
It
nó
was
sẽ
good.
như thế này, xong rồi nó gấp khúc ở
Not
giữa
bad.
như này, xong rồi nó có các chi tiết nhỏ hơn như kiểu ống thông gió chẳng hạn. Cái đấy cũng không rõ nữa nhưng mà chắc vậy. Đó, sau đến những cái phần tiếp theo của ngôi nhà thôi.
Played some Terraria this morning
Rồi sau khi đã được
with my
những đặc điểm này
cousins.
rồi chúng ta bắt đầu phân vào bố cục. Bố cục thì chúng ta nên kẻ một cái khung trước như thế này để dễ hình dung hơn. Và
On Halloween, there will be a nigga you gon' take his pain. He's big and black, he will take your candy. That nigga's name is Big Dick Randy. Hey, Big Dick Randy, he take booty, not just candy. He dress up like he a granny, then he
I got one thing to say, and I don't give a fuck what you think, man. Fuck anybody who believes in ICE. Fuck all of you. Fuck this whole fucking thing and this Trump administration, all this shit that's going.
When we first got ours, period.
I was
Good now, get your hand out my face. Get your hand out my face. You're gonna see. You're gonna see. Look at them. I'm a
Okay, Reels is actually better. Oh. Might be too loud. Yeah, might be too loud actually.
I got 21 bullets inside of this clip.
Oh hell nah.
Unload this bitch.
Bro, how did he pull that though? What am I doing? I'm eating right now. Hello, Bob Crust. Okay, what's up with my reels?
Just got my lips dissolved.
What am I eating? An overcooked oatmeal with protein powders. What? Get your ass out of here, eh?
You grab one biscuit, right? You're gonna dip it in here. You're gonna up and down, up and down, up and down. 3 strokes. Make sure
Going
there's
back to
3.
rigging? Alright, bet.
See, this is how we know you're not really Indian.
You grab.
Okay. What? Oh shit.
Gang. Gang. First off, shout out to my day one. Get the fuck out!
Um. Oh, seriously, Abasolo, what do you watch to get that shot? What? What do you mean? What shot? Oh, to get those shorts? No, I just be me. That's what I want. I don't think they're that bad. Oh hell no.
Question for Aiden.
Yeah.
Why you didn't go on a date with me?
Bro, what?
Question for Aiden.
Who is that white guy?
Why you didn't go?
They're actually not that bad. Huh?
Oh, my bad, my bad. Don't move. Oh, you're moving.
Amir Hajjaj.
Okay.
So when they all graduate, they get aura. But we're not. We're 31. I get negative 1,000 aura.
Hey. I'm probably gonna get copyrighted because of all these videos.
Look down for me, bro.
Ow.
Oh hell no.
Why is that shit burn?
You overreacting, bro.
What happened to him? Oh hello AC. Yeah, I'm eating.
Nothing to see this way. Notice this is a dead end. What a dick. Told you. Nothing to see this way.
Rats and memes.
No, bruh. Damn. Where your mama at? Leave me alone. Go to bed, please. No, bruh. Damn. Where your mama at? Leave me alone.
Okay, why is my feed so bad? Okay, where's my videos? Like, damn.
Pack with it. Wait, hold on. Nah, ain't this?
Yeah, double digits, no cap. I'm a real Black Boy Max. Black Boy Max.
Alright,
Black Boy Max.
I'll take.
Yeah, double digits, no cap. I'm a real Black Boy Max. Black Boy Max. Black Boy Max. Yeah, double digits, no cap.
4 and 2.
No! You know, look at his face. No, look at his face, right? Guess what he look like. And he's actually him. You gotta show. Yo.
A man without money will take yours. A man without inner peace will take yours.
Dame un
Guys, I just got signed to a modeling agency, and my Fortnite refund just hit, so today we're gonna get my eyebrows done. This is the setup. I've never done this before. It was only $15, and damn, they got me right. Shout out to them.
Let's see my YouTube shorts. I don't think. Yeah, my YouTube shorts is way different. A bunch of animes and edits.
Jamie.
Oh, hi, just got a friend.
What are you doing?
Well, how's the temperature in there?
Talent.
Yeah.
Guys, I just got.
Okay, the explore page is really bad. I don't even search for these.
Can I have a glass of water, please?
What the
Nice lady.
Stop the plane!
Sir, please you need to stop. There are children. Please stop.
Lovely lady.
For sure.
You're 25 years old. You get drunk off half a beer, and you read the Harry Potter series. And
Oh fuck.
I don't wanna be alive. Music can rock your body right.
do the same thing. I told you that I never.
Ah ouais, tes chic-rochis, c'est pas bien ce que vous faites, mesquine. Ah, le frérot, il travaille tout seul, il fait caisse, cuisine, il y a grave des clients. Oh, tu vois où? J'ai une livraison, surveille.
No way.
C'est pas bien ce que vous faites, mesquine.
He's doing the
Le frérot, il
cooking,
travaille tout seul, il fait caisse, cuisine, il y a grave des
the
clients.
shearing, the delivering, and all that shit. That's crazy.
Oh, tu vois où? J'ai une livraison, surveille.
What are you gonna do if the Knicks lose tonight?
I'm probably gonna crash out. Fuck the Pacers, yo! Fuck 3M! Fuck all y'all, yo! Fuck everyone!
What are you gonna do if the
Just because you wear jorts with white Nike socks, New Balances, and a soccer jersey doesn't mean you have fashion. You're just a trend hopper. Who said that?
Don't say anything.
Okay, let's go. Okay, let's go.
Day 9 of looks minimizing.
Bye, have a good night. Alright, good night, bro. Good night. All right, we're actually gonna animate today. All right, let's see. Let's see. My hand was shaking so bad earlier. I took a video of it. Why? Were you hungry or? Yeah, if it's shaking for no reason, that's kind of scary. F and F? No, it happens for no reason. No, there gotta be a reason.
No. Little button. So here's a practical way of using this if it works. So this square is the capture area. Anything you draw in here is going to be in frame. All of this is not. So you can just throw whatever assets you want in this area. Just to give an example, here I'm just gonna do a wave. So here's a practical way of using this effect.
Random F and F.
Go to the keyframe button. You click this little button that adds the keyframe there. Scoot to the end of where you want to add another in the movement. Click it again and sorry, it takes a second. There you go. This way you can move assets in and out of the framing without having to change the canvas size and accidentally corrupt the file. That is something that has happened sometimes, and it's been really
Okay, what if you want to keep doing it though?
But if you don't have this option, then I will show you the old way I used to do it, which I found effective. It was just,
And it happens a lot actually.
it kind
It's
of
just
messed with
never
the
been that
exporting
bad.
side of things, but I made it work eventually. So
Yeah, you gotta check that up.
you just get like this normal blank timeline, and you go to change canvas size. And if you're wanting to just add some space at the top, you would do this. You would click the reference point from the bottom.
Okay, this is the worst oatmeal I've had so far.
So this
I'm
would
gonna
allow
puke
you to
actually.
have like a person who falls out of frame,
I told my mom, but I don't think she cared.
fall into frame without having to
Really? Yeah, I'm
risk
sorry.
the drawing getting cut, because that happens whenever you are moving things in and out of frame. Sometimes the computer will think this doesn't matter anymore, and I'll just show you what it looks like real quick. See right here? Perfect. So yeah, that was something I discovered the other day, and I low-key was a bit frustrated whenever I found that out, because I had been doing it this.
The Humble Pan. It is both a very simple form of a camera move, yet it opens up a whole new world of filmmaking by allowing us to capture a wide angle of a subject.
Interesting. So they actually use it. They do use that stabilization. Sad movie. You know what's sad? Bojack Horseman. Hello, Frumple. Yo, Frumple, did you change your name? I feel like I've seen that profile before. You didn't? Okay. Okay, I'm gonna have to figure out how to animate the background first. Just so we can wrap that up quickly. Your chat update's really slow, but no. We just joined.
It allows us to keep up with the moving subject, and it gives us the ability to reveal new information.
Okay, that was loud.
Hi, my name is Dong, and I'm an animator in the Japanese animation industry. And today, let's take a look at how to create and use pans in your own scenes, whether for your own creations or if you're looking to go pro in Japan or otherwise. We'll start with a simple pan where our camera just moves from one point to another, and then we'll go on to more complex camera work involving parallaxing and slides. In terms of animation pipeline, this is part of layout. I'll be working in Clip Studio Paint, but like always, use the tools that are most comfortable to you.
What the?
My layout template and timesheet that I will use will be available in
What
the
the what?
comments below. For this scene, we'll have this character and we'll pan up to reveal her face. Since this is a vertical pan, let's make the canvas a bit longer than normal. This scene will also be 3 seconds long. Alright, now it's time for layout. Let's draw the character on our A cell layer, making sure to draw enough of her outside the
Alright,
frame
bye-bye,
so that
AC.
we can fill in the pan.
You heard the front door open and close, but no one's there. Yeah, you're cooked. Call the police.
Here, I give her some shading and
How do you
fill her in with
Clip Studio? Yeah, I literally just started using it like 3 days ago or 2 days. It's your dad? Yeah, I used to use Krita, but it keeps on crashing on me. So, yeah.
this yellow
I've
color.
just had enough.
It's a Japanese thing for layouts. The background will be
Okay, give me a second. I think someone's coming. I heard a woman outside my room. And when I checked, There wasn't. Embarrassingly Scratch. I feel like I've heard Scratch before. Isn't it the one that you code with too?
Pretty simple. Several layers of mountain ranges backed against the blue sky, based on the view I saw after summiting Mount Yari. The island, both beat title and timing. This is a 3-second long scene, by the way. Then at the bottom, I cross out the area with really. To create the pan, we need to set up our starting and end frames. In the new layer, I'll take the box drawing tool and just trace over the frame we have in our layout template. Then I'll move that box down and set it as the starting frame by labeling it with the letter A. The original frame will be labeled B, then we draw an arrow like so, indicating the move from positions A to B. Then we write pan. Now let's go to our timesheet. At the top, I write in the title and timing. This is a 3-second long scene, by the way. Then at the bottom, I cross out the area to mark the end of the scene. Our A cell is a held frame, and I write that in our animation column. In the memo area, we write a note for the pan A to B. And in the camera work column here, we indicate the start of the pan with a triangle, draw a line through for the duration of the pan, and we'll make this 2 seconds or 48 frames. Then we mark the end of the pan with another triangle. We again label the 2 points and write a note so that the compositor knows what's up. Pan A to B, and using what is called a fairing in the anime industry. Let's take our diagram and set a point for where we want the camera move to start slowing down.
I miss watching Hyponic stream. I miss his wife, Sophia. I miss his my family.
Into A,
Who's Hyponics?
and C, respectively. We also need to fix up our timesheet a bit. Pan ABC in the memo, and our camera work column too. Let's make this camera move shorter.
Oh wait.
Only 24 frames long, and we'll have the B position be reached at around frame 6.
Wait, this guy. What happened to this guy?
Get that squiggly line and label everything.
He died?
Now we can play it back. This way, really fast pans won't look janky when they stop. And there's obviously a lot of other uses for this too, so play around.
Omegle troll with a fairly small
If you really need
viewership.
more control, we
Yeah,
can
I
set
always
the position of the
see him
camera
at
frame
shorts,
by frame.
actually.
This is sometimes called a memory pan in the industry, but every studio kind of uses their own lexicon to describe camera work, so there are some variations. Draw a notch for every frame you want the camera to stop at, and label it a number.
That's insane.
Now we go back into our timesheet and make some around into A, and are only 24 frames. Now we can play it back. This way, really fast pans won't look janky when they stop.
If you
And
Google
there's
my full
obviously
name,
a lot of
Kid
other
Pictures
uses for this
F
too,
me
so
show
play
up.
around.
Okay, I don't know what that means. I'm not gonna Google
If
it.
you really need more control, we can set the position of the camera frame by frame. This is sometimes called a memory pan in the industry, but every studio kind of uses their own lexicon to describe either an animation cell layer or an underlay overlay background element, which is called a book in the Japanese animation industry. We use a slide. For example, we can separate the cloud layer into an underlay book layer by coloring and labeling it. And then we slide it to make it look like it's slowly moving through the sky. We set the start and end of the movement and label it. Book slide 1 to 2. You can label it with either numbers or, if you can, use Japanese katakana to make it easier to differentiate from all the other types of camera work. Let's go to our timesheet and add our slide. It's not too different from, and now when we combine our pan and slide together, we create a sort of parallaxing effect. This is called the Michaku pan in the anime industry, and you can also call it shot. The starting frames
Interesting.
which are cell tracking pan agent on this scene. Something in the same vein as the pan is the following shot. Here, the camera sticks to a subject in motion, and it looks like the background flies past. Here, I have a character in a car, and they are going to drive while the background scrolls past screen right. There are several ways to approach this kind of shot, but the way I like to do it is to have the A-cell layer with the character and car be fixed, and have the BG be pulled towards screen right at a fixed speed using what is called a follow. So I will write a little instruction for the compositor. A cell follow, and then an arrow to the left, as that is the direction A cell is moving in, and then an arrow facing right, and I'll label that BG, as that is the direction the background is moving in. You can also write the kanji dai instead of BG, you know, the kanji for table. A long story. And here it is in English. Next, we need to set up the speed of the background move in millimeters.
What is he watching? I'm watching a tutorial. So, because I can't animate the...
So you can use that to see the length of an area
So,
in
yeah.
millimeters. This scene, like most of the others, is 3 seconds or 72 frames long. And let's say I want the BG to move 50 millimeters in that 72 frames. I pull out my calculator and do some quick math. That comes out to around 0.7 millimeters per frame. And this is how you would write it in Japanese. 0.7 miri, which is short for millimeter, and K, which is short for koma, meaning frame. You don't have to draw the full extent of the BG. You can just leave it to the painter to fill it in. In the timesheet, we draw the instruction in the memo.
Really?
Cell follow, the speed, the 2 arrows, and BG at the end. Do it in Japanese or English depending on where you work. And then write in our camera work column, which are little diagram lasting for the duration of
Anyways,
the
I'm a
scene.
peace out. Good luck. I'm a
Then
solo.
we leave a
Thank
little
you.
note, labeling it with what we wrote before. Cool, let's check it out. Pans and its cousins are a useful and versatile camera work technique, and mastering them will allow you to create engaging and visually interesting scenes. For further reading, I recommend
Yeah,
you
I
check
did
out
not
Chiho
learn
Uekawa
a
Satsuma,
single
which
thing.
is a little write-up on animation camera work that most Japanese
Just realized how to do something.
Okay, now we got. This might be it, actually.
I'm gonna show you how to make an animated background like the one behind me right now. To start, you're gonna need a pattern and duplicate it. Then you're gonna make a new timeline, frame rate 30 and 120 frames for about 4 seconds, but you can play around with the amount of frames, though I recommend leaving the frame rate at 30. Lower the opacity of one of the patterns to about 50.
50.
Now you're gonna add the parameters that are these symbols right here. There are 3 types of keyframes. For an endless and seamless loop, you need a linear one. Add one at the beginning and one at the end. While having the last keyframe selected, go to the object tool and move the pattern in the way you want the pattern to go, but lining it up with the duplicate pattern at the end.
Why is it so hot in Georgia? It's so hot in everywhere right now.
And now you've got an endless looping pattern. Now I'm just going to show you the different keyframes and some of the fun things you can add in front of it.
Okay. What was your first car? I don't have a car. Road legal bike? Like a bicycle?
Anyway, I hope this was helpful in any way.
I don't know what they call it. It's just a bike. Yeah, I'm not really into cars and bikes. So I don't know what the term is. I don't even know what the good brand is. I know Toyota is good. That's what I know. But if I'm getting a first car, I might buy a cheap one. Because there's no reason to buy a brand new. It's a waste of money and yeah. Okay, we're gonna have to follow along here. Oh yeah. What's a good background? Anime subway background, I guess. Right. No, that's not what I mean. Window background. You could care less, so that means you can care less. Okay, I actually don't know. Okay, okay. Okay, this might be good enough actually. You know what? You know what? We're just... Yeah, I don't know what's a good background would be.
Hey, so you trying to make animation loops, huh?
Yes, sir.
And you want a background too? Why? Why is this train so loud? Well, this is the video for you. Let's get straight into it.
Is that Kendrick?
Okay, so let's start.
That is Kendrick.
Hey, let's start off with understanding what we're looking at, and that's understanding the composition of all of this. So I want to come over to this file right here and show you the difference between the two. So the original file that you'll see on screen is this image. But if we go over to what it consists of, it's three different planes. So you have the background, and then you have the train tracks and all of the overlays that come with it. Get rid of that. And then you have the animation. So what you want to do is when you're putting your scene together, you want to double the width of the animation if you can. Now, usually I do this in 4K. So let's see, if we double up the size, it would go from 3,840 to 7,680 wide. Let's say you have an image that you already like took from somewhere else and you want to use it in your composition. You don't want to draw from scratch. Let's go.
I'll be honest, if something is hard, I either don't give a I don't give up or what? Wait, I either don't give up or shit, or I give up or the second it gets hard.
So you would come over to view, grid, and ruler.
Yeah, giving up after it gets hard is
so now you got the center of your canvas.
like the most common mistake. Yes.
Go down to ruler.
Yeah, I try this. These days I've been trying to avoid that. If it gets hard, I'm just gonna keep pushing.
So you know what is half of your canvas before you start doing all of this extra work, right? So let's bring the image.
Okay, what do you
that
say?
we're using. Bar setting. So duplicate, just blend together seamlessly, right? Section off. What we're gonna do is copy and paste.
Hello, Silver.
Apply,
what's up?
Now from here, all we're gonna do is start drawing on the top of this to just make these two images just blend together seamlessly, right? And after you're done doing all of that drawing, you should come away with something like this. Now, after you're done with all of that, you just want to duplicate that image and
right,
put it on the other side. Use the blending tool to blend out. Let me turn this ruler off. use the blending tool to blend out this line between each other. I would either use the blending or the blur tool.
Okay,
now
this is gonna be a
have
lot of work.
Your background all put together. That is another form of composition in motion. Okay, so when it comes to the next plane, it's the train. And what I did with the
Right.
train is basically the same thing with the background.
Hi, Mike.
But instead
Good.
of making the
Doing good.
ending point
Yeah, I'm just watching a tutorial.
exactly the same, this is the end of
Yeah,
the
I don't know how
start
to
of the train,
animate this part,
and this
so
is the other end of the train. I made them different so they connect with each other. And the reason I did that is because you got to make it seem like it's multiple trains. I made them all the same color so you don't have to worry about working out, you know, where to stop the train and all of that stuff when you're going into motion tweening, which is the next section. That's the animations. But the point is to make sure that this looks like multiple trains instead of one train. So in keeping with the theme of animation, we're gonna make this simple, and we're gonna do that by using motion tween. So you see we have the train in this scene, right? Well, you know these train cars
laugh so
are
hard,
multiple
and your
train
words,
cars.
someone heard you.
So it's quite longer. Let me turn off the keyframes real quick. And
Nah,
you should
that's
be able to
normal.
see when I
Everyone
do
does that.
selection of this. This is the 3 trains that we were working on, right? And these 3 trains, what I'm gonna do is basically drag them to a certain section. Matter of fact, let me go back and select again, and then you can see what I ended up doing. So you see this is the connection that goes into, or this is the male connection that goes straight into what would be considered the female connection, right?
Male and
Instead of just
female.
placing this center, I placed it halfway out of the scene, where that little connection is coming out of the scene. And the reason for that is I want you to not be able to tell what train is on the screen, and I mean what train car is on the screen and what train car is off the screen. So all of these things will look identical, and they'll actually just flip back once it gets to that point. So let's turn the
Oh
keyframes back
shoot.
on, right? Remember, this is motion tweening. So let's zoom in. This is the train cars right here. This keyframe is the opening keyframe where we sat this train down in the first place, right? And then we come over here, watch it go slowly. You see that? That is the second car right here. Now you see starting to see the third car. But what happens is we take the original opening keyframe and place it at the next section of animation, which is the next
Okay,
section.
that was I was worried about.
1
Now it's
second loop
fixed.
right
Okay,
here.
this video is so
And we
good.
want to make it to the point where you can't see it. So by the time we get to here, right, and you see this frame, where the train is just about to go out of the scene. When we skip to that next line, it's right back where the opening position was. And that opening position is basically the keyframes that we want to run our animation through. So you're going to motion tween straight through. And what I ended up doing is we could have just looped this for a 1 second animation, right? 1 second loop over and over again. But we want to move that background a little bit more. So we don't want it to be so easy to tell that the background is looping. So the background is a little bit longer, a little bit more detailed, and it moves slower. Remember, the further away the animation is, it needs to move slower. It gives it a what they call parallaxing effect. So we take this 1 second loop and just copy it multiple times. So let's play it back. And you should see that it just looks like the train is looping. Now it does give a light feel of a chug, 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 but that's not a big deal. The animation is focused on actually the character that's in the animation.
How close is he to finishing? Not even close, baby. Yep. Yeah, we finished the key animations, but nah. I can show you a little bit. Yeah, that's about it. It's gonna be a short animation, but it's gonna take me probably a month. Okay, I did not mean to open Photoshop. Yeah, I'm physically struggling with this one. shoot. Yeah, we're doing the background first, and that is bad. Damn. Okay, I need references. Yeah, I'm just showing the whole process for this animation. So I get it would be boring. So we're fine with that. All right, bye, Saul. Okay, we want something like this. Don't skip this banger. Hello, look. Yeah, I'm getting some references and watching some tutorials. I'm animating a background like this and I can't. Yeah, I don't know how to do it. Don't skip this banger. No, I can't. I'm gonna get copyrighted. Okay, so we gotta think of the light post. No, electric post. Actually, pole. Is that pole? Yeah. Buildings and that's probably it. Actually, it's fine, yeah. Let's see. The parallax effect, yeah. I don't think I'm gonna have to do that though. I don't want to do that. Or actually, I can just do two backgrounds, one that is close and one that is far for the parallax effect. Yeah. Yeah, I think this background is actually nice. Right. Okay, let's do that. But it's gonna go this way though. Background's gonna go this way. Okay, first, how do we do that though? Silhouettes. Okay, is that how you spell it? Oh. We just do some random stuff. Dism. I'm gonna go give your children some attentions. Gotcha. You misspelled. I actually hate this music. Some people say that this music is kind of annoying. I don't know, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Okay, so this section may turn out side of that time.
Break down layers.
What you want to do is when you're putting your scene together, you want to double the width of the so the opening you have 280 wide. Let's say
Could I send you the Discord link? Why is it not working? Why is it not working? Just realize you have a Discord. Yeah. Damn, they're online? Yeah, I want to play Terraria so bad. Yeah, I might play Terraria after this, yeah. I swear I'm an OG fan. Yeah, I don't forget about that. It's you, Look, and Bread, and probably Saul, who's been sticking around. Okay. How do you invite? Copy. Yeah, check that one and see if it works. Oh yeah, it did work. This you? Rodev video. Interesting. Hello, random bag. Pookie. Okay, I gotta... Why are you calling me Pookie anyways? Thanks, no problem. Yeah, we gotta worry about the background actually. We can't animate it right now. I finished the keyframes, but I forgot about the background. No, I didn't forget about it. I tried to ignore it. Now it's time to animate it.
You have an image that you already so you want to make it center. So you bring the image up that let's turn this section off, right? Deselect, and then let's drag it over here. Now that we have this dragged over here, let's make a duplicate of this, and the one under, we'll select and drag over to the center. Now from here, and then that we're using, and we're gonna find a section drawing, you should come away with something like this. Now, after you're done with all of that, you just want to duplicate that image and put it on the other side. Use the blending tool to blend out. Let me turn this ruler off. Use the blending tool to blend out this line between each other. I will either use the blending or the blur tool. And now you have your background all put together. That is another form of composition in motion. Okay, so when it comes to the next plane, it's the train. And what I did with the train is basically the same thing with the background. But instead of making the ending points exactly the same, this is the end of this side of the train, and this is the other end of the train, I made them different so they connect with each other. And the reason I did that is because you gotta make it seem like it's multiple trains. I made them all the same color so you don't have to worry about working out, you know, where to stop the train and all of that stuff when you're going into motion tweening, which is the next section. That's the animations. But so, in a reason, go slowly. After you're done with all of that, you just want to duplicate that image and put it to blue. Now you have your background all put together. That is another form of composition in motion. Okay, so when it comes to the next plane, it's the train. And what I did with the train is basically the same thing with the background. But instead of making train next, but we're gonna, so do is loops, right? In a move, it thought it was, right? Find this little blue tab and drag it next. And this helps out for timing. So if I were to do, there's an element, chug. Okay, so this section may turn out to be more important than I thought it was going to be in future animations for everybody. So there's an element in Clip Studio where you can actually go negative on the timeline, right? So you usually start off here at 1 from 0, but you can actually take this little, I want to say loop or enclosure on the timeline, this little blue tab, and drag it negative. And this helps out for timing. So if I were to do this in another way, like putting the keyframe here, let's just say I put the keyframe, put it here. And I'm gonna take this one, since it's dragged out already, put it here, and play this from regular 1 to the regular 5. Let's show how it would look. Now it doesn't look bad, but in my eyes, I see that this is going a little bit too fast. Also, the image is slowing down a little bit too slow with the train, making it seem like there's a loop coming. It's like an anticipation of a loop coming. So to make it so that doesn't happen, a lot of times you can do things like go outside of the timeline. So you go negative with the keyframe over here, and what it will do, it will help you with your timing for your animation loop, right? So we'll come in now that we've made this adjustment, and I can just go back to 0 because it's not gonna play what's outside of that timeline. We'll go back to 0, and now we play it again. Start from the beginning. It's a little bit slower, and it doesn't give the feel of a loop as much as the other one did. Now you still get a slight tinge of a loop, but I think that's more of that line that's in the middle. But if you play this continuously, and I also think that was a little bit of my CPU, because it's all starting to smoothen out now. But this type of thing that you're seeing, when you make these type of timing adjustments, it helps you out with your animation a lot. So people don't see as much of the cracks in your animation. Now, a lot of people are not as advanced that watch my channel, and I'm not that advanced either. So we kind of push up against a wall, and these tips and tricks and these little shortcuts help you complete a project without having to quit or having to stop in the middle of your project and do a whole bunch of research and learn the different aspects of animation in order to complete that project. These shortcuts will help you complete them in practice.
Actually helpful.
Okay, so let's bring all of this home. Now that we got the background doing this loopy thing, right? Let's bring in the character. So we bring in the character right here. And we want to talk about placement. Placement of the character will enhance the scene or, take from the scene. So let's be ideal with the placement. Let's think, put them in the middle, right? Everybody thinks, go to the middle. You want them in the middle of the screen so you can drag the background through. But a lot of times, it makes the scene dull, right? It looks like he's running, nothing special, but it's not enough room to make the person that's looking at this think what's going on ahead of him or what's going on behind him. You just focus straight down the center, and it kind of takes away from all the work you did in the background. Nobody wants to take away from all of the work, the hours they did on their backgrounds and all of that stuff. So this is not really an ideal placement. This is the default go-to a lot of times. Usually you're still Maybe let's bring this down a little bit. You look at process, you're able to make more work to it so you can see it in its more polished form. But this is how easy it is to do a loop, 1 minute loop, 2 minute loop. It don't matter because you're just gonna keep on playing this over and over again. Throw some music in the background, and there you have it. Throw that up on your channel. Maybe you make a little money off of it, you know? Well, I think that's enough of this video. If you like,
Interesting.
let's start off with understanding what we're looking at, and that's understanding the composition of all of this. So I want to come over to the 3 days that usually 840. It would go from 3,840 to 7,680 wide. Let's say you have an image that you already took from somewhere else and you want to use it in your composition. You don't want to draw from scratch. Let's go ahead and show you an example of what you would do with that image. The first thing you want to do is do yourself a favor and adjust the center point of your canvas. So you would come over to View, Grid, and Ruler bar settings, and you want to make it center. So now you got the center of your canvas. And then you're going to come and you adjust the center point of your. The first thing you want to do is do yourself a favor and adjust the center point of your canvas. So you would come over to View, Grid, and Ruler bar settings, and you want to make it center. And show you an example of what you would do with that image. The first thing you want to do is do over to View, point of your, an example of what you would do with that image. Okay, of the ends when you're, and then you have scene double up. You want to double. What you want to do is when you're putting your scene together, you want to double the width of the animation if you can. Now, usually I do double the width of the animation if you can. Now, usually I do this in 4.
Welcome back, Mr. Green. Okay, so now we got that. I wonder if I can like do this. What the heck? I shouldn't have done that. What did I do? Don't save. Okay, I think I messed it up. Please no, please no. All right. All right. So hello, Coral Boys. Yeah, I'm having some technical difficulties right now. Finally found it. Got it. Saul, how's it going, buddy? I don't think Saul is here. He went somewhere. Hello, Kenito. No, not that. Good, now there's 3. The Devin, Mr. Clean just left. Yeah. You forgot? You forgot what?
Okay, so when you're the overlap have difference between 3D animation. So what you want to do before you have it.
Hello, Mello. Now I'm thinking of using Adobe because of the technical difficulty of this Clip Studio. There's 4. Yeah. I don't really mind if they leave because for me, I wouldn't really watch someone do the technical stuff. Okay, I'm just gonna try to figure this out tomorrow. Yeah, I'm not trying to do this. Ain't no way, ain't no way. Hello, Benyak. Can I call you Mark? I think Mark is better, eh? Mark? I'm saying Kinito was my first account. I see. I love chatting in live streams. It's very, very, very fun. The fact that we can see people and chat with them in the spot, on the spot. Yeah, a little bit. Interesting. Okay, might be a new timeline actually. Might be. Well, actually, no. Okay, it says O. I should use O. It's not happening though. Selectable. Alright, bye bye red scene. Okay,
the image that you already it's 3 different planes. Come over 3 planes, 3 different planes. So you have the background, the ruler, 1-point perspective. I've already done that. This is it right here. Grid and ruler bar settings, and you want to make it center. So now
okay, why are you not showing?
now you got the center of your canvas. And then you're going to come up to layers, and you're going to go down to ruler, create a perspective ruler, 1-point perspective. I've already done that. This is it right.
Gotta sleep. Good night.
Right here. And the reason we're doing that is so you know what is half of your canvas before you start doing all of this extra work, right? So let's bring the image up that we're using, and we're gonna find a section that is easily reproducible. So we're gonna reproduce, we're gonna select to the center. Make these 2. After you're done with the side, to blend out this line between each other, turn this ruler off on the other side. Use the blending tool to blend out. Let me do that. You just want to duplicate that image and put it on the other side. Use the blending tool to blend out. Let me turn this ruler off.
Now, how do I hide this? Alright, so we have this frame right here. Hello, Basilisk. What software do I use? I use Clip Studio Paint. I'm still new to it and it's really confusing. Now, it's not the most confusing software, but yeah, you just gotta get used to it, I guess. I gotta get used to it. You're switching to a new software myself, learning new stuff. What did you use before switching? What software did you use? do 2D animation as well. I use Photoshop to draw, After Effects to compile, and Premiere to edit. I think those are some good options actually. Those are good software. Yeah, probably one of the best. Yeah, but it's on you if you want to try some new stuff. Yeah. But I'd say most people outside of Photoshop uses Clip Studio, because you can animate on it and use it as like illustration software. Yeah. That was before Adobe had the subscription model and had a discount at the time. I lost the software with no more voice support. Now I'm trying Krita for drawing in